Alan Turing, 1912 to 1954, used to be an exceptional mathematician and pioneer of laptop science. During the Second World War, he used to be phase of a pinnacle secret crew of codebreakers who helped to spoil the German Enigma machine. This codebreaking work drastically helped the Allies to win the warfare, in particular the naval warfare in the Atlantic. Due to the top-secret nature of his work, Turing won little outer attention for his work, though he did get an OBE in 1948. In 1952, he used to be arrested for gross indecency and a year later died from cyanide poisoning. Posthumously Turing was once granted an legit public apology in 2009 and a posthumous pardon in 2013. Early life. Turing used to be born in London on the 23rd of June 1912. His father served in the Indian Civil Service, and alongside with his brother, John, they spent some time in Hastings, the place they had been added up by way of a retired army couple. Turing aged 16. Turing was once a valuable student, displaying great genius in arithmetic and science. He used to be bored by way of the classical topics such as Latin and Greek and regularly pursued his personal studies, such as fixing mathematical problems. From the age of 13, he studied at Sherborne Public College in Dorset. The first day of college coincided with the 1926 general strike. However, Turing was once so eager to attend, he cycled the 60 miles to faculty on his own. Turing was once additionally an appropriate distance runner and stored up strolling at some point of his life. At school, his mathematical genius and eccentric methods made it tough for him to shape in, and he used to be something of a loner. He made a very shut friendship with a boy referred to as Christopher Morcom. They shared an pastime in maths, astronomy and science. Morcom's loss of life in 1930 from bovine tuberculosis hit Turing tough due to the fact he was once his solely shut friend. During his teenage years, Turing examined Albert Einstein's idea of relativity, and his notes show a profound understanding. After Sherborne, Turing studied arithmetic at King's College, Cambridge, 1931–34. He obtained first classification honors, and inside a 12 months of graduating, Turing wrote a dissertation on central limit theorem, which is a issue of likelihood theory. This led him to be elected at an surprisingly younger age to be a fellow at King's College. After the extra slim confines of an English public school, Cambridge was once an intellectually releasing ride for Turing. He grew to be worried in the anti-war motion of 1933, however rejected each Marxism and Pacificism. He was once shut to liberal Cambridge intellectuals like John M. Keynes and A.C. Pigot. At university, he loved rowing and running. Turing was once a eager runner and frequently used to be considered walking alongside the river. He was once regarded to run all the way to London for a meeting. In 1936, he posted any other seminal paper on computable numbers with an application to the Entscheidungsproblem decision problem. It blanketed the concept of a universal computer, which used to be a computing device that would be in a position to resolve any mathematical hassle with the proper algorithm. This is a central idea to current computing. From 1936 to 1938, he spent time in the U.S. at Princeton reading arithmetic and cryptology, acquiring his Ph.D. Turing had an probability to remain in the U.S. with John von Neumann, however selected to return to Cambridge. Back in Cambridge, he attended philosophical lectures of Ludwig Wittgenstein, with whom he debated about the philosophical significance of maths. From September 1938, Turing started working part-time with the British codebreaking enterprise, GC&CS. From July 1939, Turing grew to be worried in looking for higher approaches to decode Enigma messages. Turing developed a computer, called bombe, the usage of crib-based decryption which sought for the rotor order and settings of Enigma. When the laptop known a failed setting, it electronically moved on to the subsequent combination. Turing developed a weighting of evidence, which enabled him to pass sure combinations, making it a lot quicker. Turing mentioned he used a mixture of instinct and reasoning. Mathematical reasoning may also be considered alternatively schematically as the workout of a mixture of two facilities, which we might also name instinct and ingenuity. The pastime of the instinct consists in making spontaneous judgments which are now not the end result of aware trains of reasoning. Alan Turing, Systems of Logic Based on Ordinals, Part 11. The Motive of Ordinal Logics, 1938. The Germans believed Enigma used to be unbreakable due to the fact of the massive quantity of viable combos, 10 to the electricity of 19. However, by using 1940, the electromechanical laptop was once capable to intercept and decode Enigma messages. He additionally used statistical evaluation to optimize the one-of-a-kind opportunity in the code-breaking process. Turing's work used to be deemed so essential to countrywide protection it was once categorized for 70 years. Bombe rebuild replica of Turing's Bombe decryption machine. The computing device used to be a tremendous success and gave the Allies warning about German Navy operations. This was once in particular fundamental for the Atlantic War, giving warnings of U-boat assaults on convoys. Despite the imperative work, Turing's crew in Hut 8 at Bletchley Park felt pissed off they had inadequate resources. In October 1941, they wrote to Winston Churchill asking for greater resources. Churchill at once acted on their request, and they grew to be a good deal higher resourced. By the give-up of the war, there had been 200 Turing machines, bombs, in operation. Turing had little pastime in the realistic factors of walking a department. He favored to work alone, selecting the most challenging factors of code-breaking, frequently components that others idea impossible. Hugh Alexander was once the de facto chief of Turing's Hut 8, however he was once keen to replicate on Turing's crucial role. There must be no query in anyone's thinking that Turing's work was once the largest issue in Hut 8's success. In the early days, he was once the solely cryptographer who conceived the hassle well worth tackling, and now not solely used to be he notably accountable for the predominant theoretical work. Inside the hut, however, he additionally shared with Welchman and Keene the chief credit score for the invention of the bombe. Many of us in Hut 8 felt that the magnitude of Turing's contribution was once in no way totally realized by means of the backyard world. Even after the war, the British safety offerings desired to hold secret the way that supposedly impregnable code machines may want to be broken. Turing had a popularity for eccentricity. He dressed shabbily, barring a tie, giving the impact of being completely absorbed in his mathematical puzzles and code breaking. He ought to be awkward in non-public family members and blunt, in particular. Closer to these he regarded charlatans or status seekers. Amongst his colleagues, he was once recognized as professor, and his eccentricities protected carrying his gasoline masks whilst biking to keep away from hay fever. In 1942, Turing traveled to the US, the place he grew to become concerned in pioneering tries at the digital enciphering of speech in telephones. Back in the UK, Turing helped to improve a transportable impenetrable voice communicator named Delilah. They efficaciously encrypted a speech of Churchill, however it was once too late for use in the war. After the war, he started out work on a new era of computers, which protected the automatic computing engine, ACE, and a diagram for the first stored program computer. The full model of ACE used to be no longer constructed till after Turing's death, however it was once a most important stepstone for the current computer, and later pioneering computer systems relied on components of ACE's new ideas. In 1948, he had a trial for the British Olympic marathon team. Despite injury, he managed a time of 2 hours 44 minutes and simply neglected out. In 1948, Turing moved to Manchester, the place he was once made deputy director of the computing laboratory at the University of Manchester. Here he developed software program for an early PC, Manchester Mark I. He additionally grew to be involved in the philosophical and realistic notion of synthetic intelligence. Turing is regarded the father of synthetic brain as he developed a check to see whether or not a PC may want to be regarded intelligent. An essential work used to be computing machinery and intelligence. 1950, he devised the imitation game, now recognized as the Turing test. The take a look at referred to a PC may want to be regarded to think if a human ought to no longer distinguish between the reply of a PC and a human. The thinking at the back of digital computer systems may additionally be defined by means of pronouncing that these machines are intended to raise out any operations which may want to be executed by way of a human computer. Turing, Alan. Computing machinery and intelligence. 1950, Turing additionally developed one of the very first laptop chess games. In 1951, he additionally became his interest to mathematical biology, interested with why plant constructions exhibited Fibonacci numbers. Every quantity after the first two is the sum of the two previous ones 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. In 1952, he was once elected to a fellowship of the Royal Society. During the war, Turing proposed to Joan Clark, a fellow mathematician at Hudday Clark. Accepted, however, the engagement was once short-lived and Turing broke it off. Turing felt he used to be now not being honest, and he admitted he used to be a homosexual, which at the time used to be unlawful in the UK. In 1952, Turing commenced an affair with an unemployed man in Manchester. On the 23rd of January, his domestic used to be burgled and the police investigated the burglary. Turing's fighting report would no longer have been on hand to the police as it would have been protected via the Official Secrets Act. In the root of their investigation, Murray admitted that he and Turing have been worried in a gay relationship. Murray used to be additionally accountable for the burglary. Turing admitted guilt and time honored the sentence of chemical castration, rather than a jail term. The drug was once a structure of artificial estrogen. Turing misplaced his authentic clearances, although he retained his job.